You'll never believe what happened. It was the year 2009, and I was pregnant with my second child. I was just learning how to be a parent. My firstborn was just a year old. I'm also a single parent, and I just moved back to my mom's house in Pocatchon. It was the end of March, and it was near my due date, so I had an appointment with my birth doctor. I called my foster mother, Sam, who I lived with before I moved to Pocatchon. I asked her for a ride to my appointment, so she picked me up that day. I arrived to my appointment and seen my doctor. Surprise, surprise, I was dilated and I didn't even feel much of anything at the time. My doctor thought it would be safe to induce my labor because I was so close. But it was too painful and nothing was happening anyways when she tried to induce me. So she sent me home and told me when I started to feel cramps, I should plan on going to the hospital. I got back on the car and I told my mother, Sam, what was going on, and she was also surprised. Then as she was dropping me back off at home, she told me to call her when I go into labor. Then what do you know, the next morning I woke up to labor pains. And they were coming on fast. So I called my mother and updated her on everything. Only thing I forgot to tell her was I was dilating fast. So by the time she picked me up, I was in so much pain. Driving down the highway, I was having contractions and screaming out loud. When I got to the hospital, the nurse at the desk asked a few questions. First, she asked if it was a prank and if anyone put me up to it. I looked at her and thought, you gotta be kidding me. I said, no, this is real life. Then I screamed in pain. She's like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I thought this was a prank because it's April 1st. It took them a while to get me in a room because they had all the rooms filled with other pregnant women. They finally found space for me. Also apologized for the space they put me in. I was in the storage room with 3 others trying to give birth as well. And there was only allowed 1 person in the room. I gave birth to a baby girl that was 7 pounds and 8 ounces. When they first gave her to me, they put her on top of my chest right away. As I tried to grab her, she was slipping out of my arms. The nurse grabbed her in time, then she wrapped her up and gave her to me. The nurse said I was lucky because all the other women were there all day trying to give birth. Then I just go in and pop her out just like that. My mom comes into the room all scared and happy, asked if I was okay. She said I was the only one screaming and she heard it all the way in the hallways and waiting room. Since she was my second child, everything went good. I was able to go home that same day. Plus all the rooms were filled up. I named my daughter Skylar Owen Rose Pelkey. I gave her the last name after her grandma Debbie. She was so happy and grateful and loved. And that's the story of the birth of my daughter.